This video was made in collaboration with Safety Wing. When we were planning our travels through Guatemala, we read over and over again that we should skip Guatemala City. The authors of these articles were saying it was too unsafe or there wasn't enough to do, and yet most of these people hadn't actually visited Guatemala City themselves, which made us very skeptical. Mico and I like to make our own impressions of a place, and we love visiting capital cities.
We want to see it for ourselves, you know?
That's what this channel is all about.
So with caution, because we take our safety seriously.
She said put your phone away. She said put the camera away, but I mean, we need to bring you here.
The bag.
She told me to take my necklace off.
Yeah,
so I'm taking my necklace
she took off her necklace and your watch.
We packed our bags at our Airbnb near Antigua and drove into Guatemala City to explore the place that everyone said we should avoid.
I might have been a little bit uncomfortable earlier today with all the people around. The mood has definitely shifted because there are so many school children here that are just in love with Evie right now. Also, if you're wondering if we're drawing attention ourselves walking around with a big camera like this,
absolutely.
The answer is yes. You know, this place, it kind of reminds me of Singapore, like the Changi airport. Like it's got that like luxury feel. All I know is that with feet like that, you can probably make some good money on the internet. Oh, she is ready.
I'm ready to vlog.
She is ready. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, guys.
Welcome to Guatemala City.
Guatemala City. Finally, we're so excited to be in the capital of Guatemala. I feel like this has just been like a long time coming, our visit to Guatemala City. So we are starting our day here in what's called Zone 1 at the
Plaza Constitution. No,
Constitution Plaza?
De la Plaza? Plaza de la Constitution.
The Constitución, I'm pretty sure is probably how you say that.
Yeah, it's kind of like where the main part of this historical center where a lot of people gather. There's lots of important government buildings here.
Yeah.
We actually got here quite early to like tackle this day, and we actually got here maybe a little bit too early because not a lot of things are open yet.
Dunkin' Donuts was open, and that has honestly been the only coffee shop that was open so far.
Yeah, Nicole did get a free coffee, so I don't know why
they gave me one of these for free. I was like, thank you so much. Welcome to Guatemala City.
Guatemala City's already off to a good start.
Awesome.
So everywhere online says that we have to start our Guatemala adventure or Guatemala City adventure here at the plaza. And I can see why, because there are a lot of beautiful buildings here. We got the National Palace here in front of us, which some people say looks like the Buckingham Palace.
Yeah.
Kind of like a miniature version.
I actually could see that. It's kind of neat because it's like got a tinge of green, like it's a green palace.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful.
We got the Metropolitan Cathedral over there as well, which is also a beautiful cathedral.
There's also a fountain in the middle of this plaza.
Yeah, they call it the Swan Fountain, although I don't really think I see any swans there.
Any swans on it?
There's a lot of people here. It's a place where a lot of people gather to primarily cultural and political events, but also just like to hang out.
Yeah, and on a day like today, it's like a Tuesday morning, like a random weekday morning. Most of the people who are here, from what we've noticed so far walking around, there's actually a lot of people here who look kind of displaced, like maybe they don't have a lot of other places to go. Some people have evidently spent the night.
Yeah, it looks like they've definitely been spending the night here, and there's quite a lot of characters out here.
Yeah, there's also a lot of vendors out. I'm actually surprised by how many there are, considering it's early and it's just a random weekday. We've also seen a handful of police out already as well.
Yeah.
So safety-wise, I feel really cautious, mostly because we have all our camera gear on us.
Yeah.
I don't feel like super unsafe, but I do feel like I'm very mindful of like who's around. I feel like we're watching our surroundings a lot.
Totally.
Sure.
Yeah, and you know, that's really gonna be the theme for today. Like Nicole and I are really gonna be exploring Guatemala City with a very open mind because we've heard a lot of mixed reviews about the city. And I want to go in and see it for myself.
Yeah.
We want to see it for ourselves, you know?
That's what this channel is all about.
So far, the plaza, I say, is a very cool place to start. Oh my god. Se llama Evie. Se llama Evie. Oh, Evie's getting swarmed. And so is Nicole. So it's kind of funny, while I might have been a little bit uncomfortable earlier today with all the people around, the mood has definitely shifted because there are so many school children here that are just in love with Evie right now. I have lost Nicole. I can't even see you anymore.
We just got totally like taken over by the young women, and I love it. Evie loves women. So she was in heaven. She was just like, help me. It was so
That was a very interesting plaza. Our next stop now is the Avenida de la Sexta, or 6th Street? No, 6th Avenue.
Yeah.
And it's a nice walking street that's connected to the plaza.
Yeah.
The walking street goes on forever, and it's just lined with different cafes and shops and bars, and it's supposed to be like a really nice place to just
Shop,
hang out,
eat.
shop, eat, do all that kind of stuff.
And, yeah, it's pedestrian only, so that part is really nice.
Also, if you're wondering if we're drawing attention ourselves walking around with a big camera like this,
Absolutely.
the answer is yes. You think after doing 3 years of vlogging that we'd be a little bit more comfortable filming ourselves in a public situation like this?
This never gets easier. This is always weird.
It's always gonna be like this. It smells so good here. Nicole and I have been in Guatemala now, what, let's say
Couple months.
2 months?
Something
two and a
like
half,
that.
almost 3 months. And the one thing that we see all the time is Guatemalans walking around with a box of Little Caesars pizza. It's like, it's gotta be like the favorite.
Yeah, the love for Little Caesars pizza here is real, man, and I'm here for it. We also love Little Caesars. We have Little Caesars in Canada as well. But dang, man, the amount of folks walking around with their pizza boxes is just awesome.
I mean, so you'll find Little Caesars everywhere. It is just so funny. Like, I guarantee you, if you visit Guatemala, you're gonna find a local walking around with a box of Little Caesars pizza.
Like it's 10:30 in the morning. People are out with their boxes of pizza. No, girl. I gotta say, this street is really clean, and we just passed a whole crew who are cleaning up. They literally have scrapers out to scrape like gum off the ground. And stuff,
Scraping gum.
Yeah. This place is super cool.
Or they could institute the Singaporean rule. It's $500 fine if you throw gum on the ground.
Throw gum or even spit, I think.
Or even spit, or eat on the train.
You're not even allowed gum, period, in the whole city or slash country.
Nicole was just pointing out this really cool building behind us. It's decked out with Guatemalan flags because not too long ago they actually had their Independence Day.
Yeah!
Which is super, super cool.
So cool.
And I think it marked
203 years.
3 years
Of independence from Spain.
Yeah, very cool. Very, very cool.
I'm so glad that we are finally here in Guatemala City and seeing this city and experiencing this place, because we actually originally had this trip planned quite a few weeks ago, and we've had to reschedule multiple times because actually I got really sick. So a few weeks ago I started to feel really, really unwell, like super fatigued. I was getting like hot and cold sweats. I was not able to sleep. I felt nauseous. It was honestly terrible. And about 5 days into just feeling so gross, we finally visited a clinic in Antigua, and I actually got diagnosed with dengue fever. Dengue fever is also often referred to as breakbone fever, to give you an idea of just how nasty it was. So it was terrible, and I'm glad that we are finally here in Guatemala City after some delays. But it's times like these that I am so glad that Mico and I choose Safety Wings Nomad Insurance for our health insurance, because when you get ill abroad, like you need care. You need to be able to get whatever you need, and to get good care. So when we were in Antigua, I started to feel really ill. We went to a clinic and I was immediately able to see an English-speaking doctor actually, who looked me over, asked me about my symptoms. We talked about what was going on. She said, "That sounds like dengue." And she was actually immediately able to get me a blood test to confirm that I did in fact have dengue fever. So that was wonderful. It was all a really quick process, and I was so grateful to know that Safety Wing had me covered through all of that. So once I was done with all of the testing, I just take all my receipts and documentations, the report that I had dengue, submit that into Safety Wing in their online platform. It took just like maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And within a couple of days, I was actually receiving an email saying, "Hey, yeah, you're approved. We got everything you need, and here's your reimbursement." So it was really easy, and we would highly recommend Safety Wing. We've been using them for years. So if you are in the market for travel insurance and you're looking for an awesome provider, check out Safety Wing. I'll put a link down in the description below so that you can check them out for yourself. And once again, thank you so much to Safety Wing for partnering with us on this video and keeping us safe on the road so that I can get to Guatemala City.
Muchas gracias. Our next stop is the Mercado Central, and what's really funny is that while we were just sitting on the bench there, Nicole was hanging out while I was throwing up the drone, It was really funny. There's some like ladies there.
Yeah, I made friends with the lady beside me.
Made friends with her. They loved Evie. And then when we said that we were gonna go inside the mercado, they were like, oh.
Be very careful.
Everything, like.
She said put your phone away.
Phone
she
away.
said put the camera away, but I mean, we need to bring you here.
The bag.
Yeah, she told me to take my necklace off.
Yeah, no,
so I'm taking my necklace
she took off her necklace and your watch. So she said
we're gonna
be very careful. They said, like even your phone, she said that people would just run up and grab the
she
phone.
Said if you're on your phone, people will just take it.
Yeah, it's
so
crazy.
that was good advice and very interesting to know as we come in here. So we're gonna be very careful.
I've got a strong grip on the camera. The holster is around my wrist, so.
And we might not film as much as we usually would in here because I don't want to lose the camera.
But we have made it inside Mercado Central. This is probably one of the busiest markets here in Guatemala City. They sell a lot of traditional goods, textiles,
so far,
souvenirs.
I'm really impressed with like the quality. It's very clean. The aisle is actually quite large.
Yeah, I don't really know if we could bring the dog in here, but we just bring her in.
I'm serious. And if she can't come, so we just assume we can bring her.
I've already seen some shop owners go, oh, burrito. Gracias.
I feel like it's like almost like city blocks in here. Like there's straight lines that like make sense. Like I wouldn't get lost, I don't think. Like I think I actually could not get lost at this market, which is a change.
Well, where did we start from?
Okay, well, Mico will get us out easily.
Wow, this is amazing. There's so many people just lining up, standing, eating at these little shops on the side. This like almost like a little street market, street food aisle.
That smells so good here. Okay, I know before we came in here that those women warned us to be really careful here, but I actually feel so safe so far. Like so safe, especially compared to most markets that we've been in. I don't feel like we're getting stared at a lot. People, like, it's not super busy. I actually feel great so far. So that's good. I was a little worried because the women made me feel like it's gonna be scary in there, but it's not scary at all. It's amazing.
We are starving. Somehow it's already lunchtime. So Nicole and I were thinking of a place to eat, and no better place to eat than at the main market here in Guatemala City. Come here. I think we have found a place for lunch, and now we just gotta figure out how to order. Me gustaría pepián de res. Oh, pepián de pollo.
Pepián de pollo.
Pollo con arroz, por favor.
Y carne asada, por favor. All right, we have food coming. I'm so hungry.
It's funny, these are one of the places that don't have menus for us to look at, so that to me means that it's a sign that it's very local. Gracias. Because that means the locals just always know what everybody serves, and it's generally very similar.
Yeah.
If you don't know what to eat here in Guatemala, we highly recommend checking out our Guatemala food video, which we did in Antigua. Tried a ton of great traditional Guatemalan dishes.
Yeah.
And now after that video, oh wow. Gracias.
That's yours.
Holy smokes. After that video, we just learned what foods we like.
We have actually really learned a bit more about Guatemalan food, so thankfully we now know what to order. So what did you get?
Oh my gosh, I got the pepián de pollo. So pepián, I think it's kind of like a certain kind of flavor. Very popular here in Guatemala. Holy smokes. Look at the broth on this.
Wow.
The chicken is so soft.
Holy smokes.
It's bone-in chicken leg. This is definitely a Mico meal. I've learned that if you love Filipino food, if you're a Filipino like me, you're gonna love Guatemalan food. Oh my god, this is so delicious.
Gracias. Okay, so I got a very typical delicious Latin American dish. This is carne asada, which basically just means like a grilled meat. And it looks like it's come with rice, this huge slab of meat. This is a squash, I think, maybe pumpkin, and then like lots of roasted veggies. Look at that bite. Dang, that's good. It's like that grill that they do, I feel like it's gotta be made with like a real wood fire, because it has that like smoky taste. So good.
You want some of my chicken? Those chicken is the guy for, I think you want to love pepián.
is exhausted. So before we go to our next stop, we are bringing her back to her Airbnb. We're gonna leave her here for a couple of hours so she can rest. So I figured this is also a good time to show you guys the Airbnb that we're renting here in Guatemala City. Aww, are you ready to give an Airbnb tour, Evie? You want to show us the house quickly, babe?
Okay, yeah. Basically, you're looking at it. You got the main living space with a table, a really nice kitchen actually, really big windows. We got a couch, a nice big TV that we haven't used yet, and then here's the main bedroom. It's tiny. I feel like we're in like a patio, you know, like you're going from inside the patio to another part of the patio. And then up there, there's another bedroom as well. It's like more like a loft, and it's got a tiny, I think, double bed or a single bed. Ta-da! Here's the washroom. You know, it's funny, this building looks kind of new, and then from the outside it looks like it'd be really good, but there's some things that don't really make sense. Like, for example, this, we figured,
Don't turn on the shower.
Figured this out the first night. This thing just fell off. That was really easy. And then this guy, you can kind of open, and you think you get a view of the outside, but then it hits this.
By the outside, he means the kitchen.
Of the kitchen, yeah, but it hits this thing, so.
Yeah, can't do that.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of strange. The construction is a little bit interesting.
It's fun. There's a few little nuances, but overall there is hot water in the sinks and in the shower. The water pressure in the shower is amazing. And we're able to get decent airflow with these big windows, so we're happy. The biggest piece of advice that we got from people when we talked about coming to Guatemala City was to be really thoughtful about what zone we stayed in. So Guatemala City is divided into a bunch of zones. This morning when you guys saw us at the plaza, we were in zone 1. That's like the historical center, known to be a very safe area. Yeah. We are staying in zone 4, which is a really revitalized area from what we've heard. And then we are headed right now to zone 10, which is the financial district. And I think it has a lot of like the really upscale, nice shopping, the really fancy hotels, those sorts of things.
Oh, we're coming up to something I want to see when we're here is the Torre del Reformador. And it's just like almost like a...
They call it like a mini Eiffel Tower. Yeah, wow. That's so cool.
It looks like a rocket ship.
It does look like a rocket ship.
You know, we were gonna do like a couple passes of driving through this to get a good look, but because the traffic's so bad, we're just gonna do it one time.
This is the one look. Cool. That's neat.
So welcome to our next stop of the day. This is Oakland Place, which is a mall here in Guatemala City. It's probably one of the nicest malls in Guatemala City, and probably one of the nicest malls in all of Guatemala.
Yeah, Mico and I honestly love visiting malls in other parts of the world just to see, like, what are they like. It usually gives a really different perspective on a city. Like, obviously in this case, just like I could be in the States, I could be in Canada.
We almost got run over by a train.
Wow.
Okay, so be careful when you vlog. In this mall.
You're gonna get hit by a train apparently. But there's tons of brands I recognize. Like there's North Face right here. We just passed Aldo. I think there's a Forever 21 here. Bath and Body Works. Like this is so familiar. So many of these stores. So. Gracias. Bye.
Cheers.
It's a good day. Cheers. Thanks, love.
You know this place? It kind of reminds me of Singapore, like the Changi Airport. Like it's got that like luxury feel, and it's got this really great blend of architecture that has a lot of greenery and also some modernness. On top of having so many brand name stores, this is really, really nice. But yeah, I kind of get feeling like we're in Changi Airport, in particular right here. Yeah. It reminds me of the Jewel area. I mean, there's no like Jewel like there was in Singapore Airport, but you know, I kind of feel that way in a little bit.
I see it.
Cool. Okay, so one of the things that we need to accomplish while we're at this mall is to get Evie a new bed. And that's because we actually brought her bed here to Guatemala City and we tried to wash it in the washing machine. And let's just say it came out a little bit shredded and a little bit burnt. So that's totally our bad. And I think we might have found a bed.
I think we found a bed.
It's a great store. It's called Mascota. Mascote? Yeah, and they've been so helpful. So they put this together for us. It's their last one. I think it's about 100 quetzales. No, 500 quetzales.
Yeah, that's good.
I think it's gonna be worth it.
I think she's gonna love it. Muchas gracias.
Gracias.
my dog bed. Do I look like I belong in the fancy mall with my dog bed? We missed you. Got you a new bed. Look. What is this thing? What's this? What do you think? It's your new bed. It's just the corners. Well, I'll get right in there.
It smells like a pet store. Good morning, everyone. We are in Ciudad Cayela, which is a special part here in Guatemala City. I think it's in Zone 16.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's very interesting, a whole different side of the city that we heard that we had to visit.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. We were doing a bit more research this morning as we were preparing to come here though, and we learned that we actually probably can't take our regular vlogging camera with us in here. I think we need a special permit for that actually. So as a result, we're going to be switching over to our phones because I'm pretty sure we're allowed to film with those, and our mics, and hopefully be able to film this cool place.
One for me and one for the dog. Oh, she doesn't want coffee. I guess you can have this one, hon. So the coffee is really good. Unfortunately, Nicole has a pretty bad headache. We figured this staying put at the coffee shop while Nicole's headache subsides, probably a good time to tell you guys a little bit about Cayela.
Yeah.
So Cayela is this interesting urban development, a private development that started over a decade ago.
Yeah, and it's right in Guatemala City, but it's often referred to as a city within a city.
Yeah, the proper name is Ciudad de Cayela.
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 We're trying, it's a really hard word for us to say. We're trying our best.
What makes Cayela a very unique destination is that, number one, the architecture here. It's very obvious the moment you walk down these little streets, all the buildings are white, everything's got this red tiled roof, and the developers design in such a way to make it look like almost like a Mediterranean European
town.
And there are lots of luxury shops and luxury restaurants and like high-end brands, and you can really just feel that this entire place is just like on a whole new level of like, I want to say like wealth.
There is also residences here. There's lots of homes here, and from what we understand, those homes to buy are very, very, very expensive.
How do you feel about going for a walk? Think you can do it now?
I can do it. I can do it.
The dog is like, all right, guys.
She's so eager to get going.
I didn't get a coffee, so I might as well sniff some grass pretty soon here.
Evie girl, you ready to go for a walk? Yes, please. I wish we could let her off the leash.
And then there's that statue here.
Oh wow!
There's one of the like main statue attractions. All I know is that with feet like that, you could probably make some good money on the internet.
That's not what I thought you were gonna say, but that's still bad. What a place to play fetch. It's so beautiful here. I know. Oh, she could have like a little bow tie. Apparently we came to this Ciudad, what's it called again? Cayela. Just to shop for the dog. This is so cute. And it says Guatemala.
It's awesome.
It's like, I feel like we have like this new type of souvenirs that we can get, you know, like stuff for the dog, and she can like wear it, and I feel like I got a souvenir for myself.
She is looking pretty good. I think we want to buy it.
We got her too. And some treats.
And some treats, of course.
Of course.
Most spoiled dog in Guatemala, for sure. As nice as this place is, we have heard a little bit of controversy regarding Kayala.
Yeah.
And that's mainly because of the fact that this place really feels like it caters to the wealthy, even though anybody can come here. But I've heard it's not necessarily like public transport friendly. You have to be able to get yourself here.
Yeah.
And we've also heard that a lot of local Guatemalans, especially from those from the city, are kind of upset because there's so much money being poured into Kayala, where that money people feel like it should be going to other places in Guatemala City that need that money, that can help more people.
We've also heard from also some Guatemalans that this is like amazing and they love that this exists
Yeah.
in Guatemala City, and it's such a good representation of where they like want to continue to move in some ways. Like there's some parts of it that they really love. So I think there definitely are two sides to the coin. Something that we learned about this area is that they host a lot of different events, like cultural events, or like this seems to be like a pop-up tent of vendors. Okay, what do you think? Pink or white?
I think maybe the pink.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Naturally, I'm buying jewelry. That's my souvenir for myself all the time. You made it yourself? Oh, that's amazing. Mucho gusto. Gracias for the
It's
earrings.
very beautiful.
They're beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, hasta luego.
Hasta luego.
Awesome. Look at that. See, I love that so much. I love buying new jewelry in a place and actually knowing who had made it. Like, that's so cool to me. So Guatemala City has really surprised us. I think given what everyone had told us about the city before we actually came here, I wasn't expecting to have as good a time or as comfortable a time as we ended up having.
Yeah, we actually ended up having such a nice couple of days, enjoying different parts of the city and seeing, I think, two different sides. Because I think a lot of times when people think of a country, they think of like one particular version of it.
Yeah.
And it was nice to show different parts of it.
Yeah.
And Guatemala City really brings that out. We hope you liked the video. If you like it, make sure you give it a like. And if you want to see more adventures with Nicole and I and Evie throughout Guatemala, make sure you hit subscribe.
We will catch you guys in the next video.
Thanks for watching.